Hi, my name is Haleema Bashir. I have just been interviewed by Keith Andrew, who's done a really amazing job. Thank you for having me.
Pete Flattum, I was just recently interviewed by Keith Andrew, and I had such a good time, and he did such a great job. It was an absolute pleasure to be on the Keith Andrew Show, and I hope I get to do more of it.
My name is Keith Andrew, and welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. For people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you want to be. So prove to them it can stand out to something. So hashtag break the labels. So that being said, 27 minutes of your time. It is PG-13. Highest goes up to 14. So as long as you don't use any F-bombs, just freedom of speech, self-expression, freedom of speech. So you can say and do what you like. So the first one I want to ask you is for our beautiful guest in box number 1. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, my name is Haleema. I live in England, UK. I enjoy graphic design, so creating computer graphics is my thing. And also, I'm a creative. I'm working on a current project which is in its early development phases, working on character development. Once that's done, we'll be able to get that out to studios and hopefully get filming once everything COVID related has subsided a little. During the week, I work as a technical assistant, so that's a part-time job. Monday to Friday, and that takes up quite a bit of my time. And the evenings I look after my little one, who is 5. He'll be starting year 1 in September, so that's something to look forward to. And yeah, that's also I enjoy writing as well, so I'm trying to get more into screenplays. I write stories. I enjoyed writing stories, so I've been trying to adapt some into actual screenplays that hopefully sometime in the future I might possibly have turned into films. So that's
absolutely. You mentioned graphic designs. I do have an idea I'd like to talk to you about off the air. I don't know if our other guest knows how to do that. What I mean by graphic designs is there's fan-made videos where people who are wrestling fans who can create a stage, and I'm a big wrestling fan. I watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So you have a stage and then you have fireworks around that. Yeah. Is that the type of graphic designs that you do?
Yeah, I would do stuff like that. Well, what I tend to do is manipulate photos. So if there's something you want to do with a particular image or multiple images that you want included, I would work on that and bring them all together in any way that you want, really.
That's not a bad idea. We can definitely talk about that afterwards. And box number 2, same exact question. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you came to do what you do.
Hi, I am Pete Flattum, and I'm a professional actor. I specialize in doing background work in movies and television. And when I am on the set, I pretty much go by the KISS method, which is pretty much keep it simple, stupid. I'm just there to complete the scene. I'm there to help the director out and the other actors and just make the scene look complete. And I've been doing it for about 15 years. And I recently appeared on an episode of Three Busy Debras. I was the guy washing the car with milk. And yes, with milk. It was very interesting. And then I was also a pedestrian background in a feature film called Kimmy, starring Zoe Kravitz. So I've been able to work with the most amazing directors and actors, and it's just a part-time job, which I absolutely adore. And it's all about completing the movie and stuff. And I just love to be part of the process and part of the craft. And my main job is I work for the Tacoma School District as a special education paraeducator, which is a teaching assistant working with students with disabilities. But acting is definitely one of my absolute passions, and I love to look for new projects, anything interesting. And I'm always myself working on character development, because even if I'm a background actor, I still have, why am I there? Who am I? So I try and create a character for that background actor. So I put a little spin on it. I make it interesting, and I absolutely love it. It is so much fun to be part of the process.
And by the way, I am going to use that KISS thing. Listen, keep it simple, stupid.
Yes, and that's what I say to myself every time I'm on the set, because I'm not there. I'm not the star. I don't overact and push anybody else out of the way. I'm there to help out. So I just want to help out, man. That's all I do. And it is so much fun. I've been in some great productions, and I look forward to a lot more.
No, absolutely. So the next 10 questions, so yeah, let's see how it goes. I have 1 to 13. So let's see how it goes. So this one is going to be an open format. I'm going to throw a question out. You guys can take turns. You can ask each other the same questions, interact with each other. Like I said, I like it being interactive, bringing people together. So the first one I want to ask you is, what attracted you to begin your career as an actor? Pete, I'm going to start off with you.
Well, I answered an ad in the Seattle Times to be a background actor in the TV show Fugitive, starring Tim Daly. And after one day on that set, working as an undercover cop in a show, I was hooked. The lights, the camera, the action, the people around you, they're so friendly, they're kind, you get to have fun, you get to play. And that's what really attracted me to it, was just that first day of doing it.
And what about you?
Well, throughout education, really, it's like you'd have to put on like productions with the rest of your class. And I found that I really enjoyed that. So I continued that throughout primary school up here and throughout higher education as well. I just really enjoyed it. So it was just something that I really wanted to do, because it allowed me to express myself in a great way and perform as other characters that I wouldn't normally contribute to my life. It wouldn't really parallel to who I am. And I really enjoyed it. And there's some really good stories out there as well that allow me to express the way I might actually feel, but through a different character, and explore different emotions. And I think it's just really great to be able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, we're going to stay on box 1 for this one. What has been your greatest achievements? And what have been your, what have been your greatest achievements? That's the first question. And the second one, same question, but as an actor.
Oh, my greatest achievement. Well, that would have to, well, in life itself, it would be getting through education and passing and becoming successful in actually obtaining a job, a steady, permanent job. And in acting, I would say for the time being, it's not particularly in the acting itself, because I'm still pretty new to it, but it coincides with it, as it's the networking, because by networking, it's allowed me to meet some really great professionals that I've had the chance to work with behind the scenes. I'm working on a couple of projects as a creative, helping with the creative elements and the writing, the plots, storylines. And I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not been as successful in networking as I have been.
No, absolutely. And box 2, same exact question.
I think my greatest achievement is having two awesome jobs, which I absolutely love and I work hard at all the time. I mean, both my jobs are challenging and I'm very humbled by it and I appreciate everything I have every day. And I've gotten to work with Academy Award winners and they've been so kind and nice to me. And I feel I've achieved a lot. And I just have to keep a level head and keep doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Now, let's do something fun. Do you have a question for box one? And box one, do you have a question in box two?
Yeah, I have a question for Haleema.
Yeah, what's the question?
Is there a lot of work in the UK as far as filming and work for actors?
There are a few, but it depends where you are, because there's a lot of work in areas like London. But if it's like small cities like West Yorkshire and particularly like Bradford, you don't really see many job offers or job openings. So it can be tricky down up here to actually find work.
Okay.
Yeah, and it all seems that mostly it seems to be like short films or like student projects or short features, stuff like that.
Okay, because I was just wondering, because I have a passport and all that, and I have a lot of time off during the school year, so it would be fun to go overseas and just broaden my horizons and work for different stuff.
Yeah, the best place would be then to go to London, because that's pretty much where the work's at down here.
Okay, and I love other cultures too, and I love to meet other people from around the world. So
yeah, and I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes.
Out of the different roles that you have portrayed, which would you say resonated to yourself the most?
I think it was the Twinkie Thug. It was about 10 years ago. It was an independent film called Got Milk, the movie. And I was a gangster, had a black pinstripe suit on, but I was like one of the Three Stooges in this movie. And it was so like me. It was just playful. It was funny. It was like canny. And I ate so many Twinkies during the filming of that. It was hilarious. And the movie turned out so well. And they did win some awards locally here. And I love that role. The Twinkie Thug was awesome. I had a lot of fun bringing that character to life.
And my next question is for Rugal. It says box one, box two. Let's change it up. We'll go back to England, or whatever, box one, box two. Let's have fun with it. So as you're over in England, how different is the entertainment world compared to, say, the States in Canada? For an example, what challenges and were you ever stereotyped? Was there any challenges that you had to overcome in England that you might have not had to if you were acting in the States?
Well, that's actually a tricky one, because the one struggle that I'm faced with quite a bit here is like the job roles that are out there, the casting calls that I've come across. A lot of them are like aimed more towards English folk, for example, like white Caucasian, however you want to call them. There's not really many minority roles, for example, like South Asian or well, even if it's like a European role, it's very limited. So it's very difficult to find work if you're, for example, South Asian, as people are very particular about who they want in their films or their TV shows or whatever they're casting. So it is a big challenge.
I agree. Just because you look at somebody, they automatically come up with a stereotype of, this is what this person should be. You know, if you're Spanish, you'd be a Spanish role. If you're Black, you'd be in a Black role. Now, for me, because I have disabilities, you'd be in a disability role. Or I wear glasses. Actually, we're going to do a fun game right now. When both of you look at me, I want your honest opinions. When both of you look at me, what do you think I would be good at in acting? You know, I was told, you know, oh, you wear glasses, you can be a scientist, you can be a school teacher, you can be a best friend. But then again, if I put sunglasses on, like you can look like a gangster, you can look like a mobster. But I want both of you to take turns, and we're gonna go in a circle. But as I am the host, I want to go first, not to pat myself on the back or anything. But box one, when you look at me, what do you think I would, not to be stereotype, but automatically roles would pop up?
Well, the one role that came to mind would be an office role. Yeah, an office-based role.
What about you, box two?
Let's see. I think you would be great as the neighbor next door who comes to the rescue when the family needs help, like one of the Chevy Chase movies. I think you'd be great.
No, absolutely. You know, box two, you know, when I look at you, I see a comedian. As you did mention you are a comedian. I see more like kind of like a Chris Foley, because I can, you have the, you always smile and you can look like you can be spontaneous, or you can be like, crap, I'm having a blank at his name. Kevin James. Kevin James is really funny. And
I love Kevin James.
Excuse me. I talk too much. But box one, you know, when I look at you, you are a beautiful woman, but based on your outfit, yeah, I do think like a secretary. I do think like a school teacher, a principal. So any of those roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I once told, well, not me personally, but with a group of others, that it was an advice. She advised that you not have glasses when you're taking like headshots, when you're showing casting directors or producers your headshots, not to show glasses, because at the end of the day it sort of typecasts you, and they should be the ones to decide whether or not you wear glasses, and that it's not really a good idea to wear glasses in a headshot when you're taking a headshot.
Well, I'm the opposite, because I'm blind without my glasses. I mean, I can see a little bit, but if you tell me to walk across the stage and be like, okay, just point me in the right direction. What about you, Box two? When you look at Box one, what roles do you think she would be perfect in?
I think she would be great as like a heroine, like the lady who saves the day. I think she would be great. It's like a Wonder Woman thing. She'd take her glasses off and throw her jacket off and do the spin, and all of a sudden there's Wonder Woman. I think she'd be fantastic. But yeah, I think she'd. But yeah, she'd be great as a teacher, the teacher that saves the kids in the shoot 'em up movie or whatever. She would be fantastic. She has that very, very cool vibe, but she's also would be great to save people. I think in the movies it'd be great.
Thank you.
Or as the lady spy. There we go. Yeah.
That's for me.
In that box one, what do we think about the both of us?
Well, you yourself, I'd see as either a office-based role, or really that like a quirky, quiet, nerdy type who like just keeps to himself, but when attention calls for it, they really step up to the moment. So I feel like you do well in those types of roles. You've got the look for that. Or like you mentioned before about the scientist, I could see you in a lab coat just working away, doing experiments.
That's true.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Yeah, box 2. Keith, was it?
Pete.
Box 2. I can't remember his name.
Pete.
Oh, Pete. Right. Sorry.
Okay.
I see you as a bodybuilder or like a bodyguard that roles.
I played a bodyguard before in a movie. It was cool.
All right.
Very nice. That was cool.
So the next one I want to ask is a little more hard-hitting, is with everything going on with the pandemic. You know, I was told recently England's going to be on lockdown, and that's for you. In Washington, you know, I really don't know much about that because, you know, I don't like politics, but I think they all have their heads up their ass, number one.
Yeah, me too.
But how do you guys feel about with everything going on with the pandemic? And box 2, I'm going to start off with you. Do you think the pandemic could have been handled a lot better? Do you think it's getting better? I think it's going to get worse as we go towards the fall.
Well, they keep talking about that Delta variant, and it's starting to scare people. And I am fully vaccinated, but I still wear my mask in the grocery store and when I'm out like shopping or something. But I hope they don't shut everything down again. I mean, the movie industry here in Washington State just got back up and running, and I've been in a couple things since. And we need to go forward now. If you're not vaccinated, it's your own fault, but please go get vaccinated. It only takes a second, and it could save a lot of lives. So I'm hoping it's over and we just go forward from here.
No, you know, I agree with you. You know, I'm fully vaccinated, but I still wear a mask where I go, number one. And there was this person who I interviewed yesterday. He's like, "Oh, you know, I'm very Christian-like." I'm like, "Okay, I interview everyone, not to get religious or anything. I'm Jewish. You want to fight about it?" But it's like, you know, who cares? But it's like, yeah, you know, this might be the end times. Do you know something I don't? You know, I'm still waiting on the freaking UFOs, you know, on an asteroid, a solar flare. A couple of days ago, the Earth was hit by a solar flare. I don't know if you guys were aware of that.
No.
But luckily it wasn't bad. We didn't lose power or anything, but it did hit the Earth. But, you know, global warming, you know, look what's happening in California. They're almost out of water. Arizona, it's 110. Japan, they're always on a ring of fire, but they always get their ass kicked by earthquakes. You know, Germany and England, you know, I'm going to pass it over to our beautiful guest from England. You know, you got that rainstorm, you know. So before we talk about global warming, I want to talk to you about the pandemic first.
Right, okay. Well, down here, it definitely could have been handled better. There seems to be a lot of contradictory information being passed around. There's a lot of confusion about what's going on. There's a lot of panic construing regarding the lockdown easing even further coming Monday. And yeah, I feel like it could potentially end up getting worse, especially with cases rising over here. Yeah, it's just a lot of backwards and forwards information, and it's just making it tricky to try and get back to a sense of normality, whatever that new normality would be. So it can get a bit frustrating, to be honest.
I agree. It is frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's true because the CDC give you one thing, and then you have Cuomo and Blasio are freaking idiots. And by the way, you can quote me on that. they're freaking idiots. And they're like, oh, you don't need a mask, it's fine. But the CNC is like, you need a mask, don't need it. If you wanted to confuse everyone, you did an excellent job with that, because you don't know what one hand is doing in the other. But unfortunately, I don't want to have this mindset. It's going to come to the point, it's like, man, it's been 4 years. If I get sick and die, I'm going to go live my life. But until we get to that point and have that mindset, even though some people do have that mindset now, get vaccinated. It's not that hard, just be smart. But you're talking to a bunch of sheep, and you might as well be watching the grass grow or watching paint dry on a wall. But that's what most people are. But with the last 2 minutes, I want to ask you, and we're going to talk off the air. Box one, how can our fans and listeners follow you on social media?
Well, I've got a Twitter account. That's at Compriser, COMPRISOR. I created that account years before I even started this journey. And I didn't change the username because I felt it was unique, and I do tend to have a unique personality, so I thought it was fitting. And I also have an Instagram, which is officially Haleema Bashir. That's HaleemaBashir.
Oh, absolutely. And box two, how can our fans and listeners get in touch with you on social media?
Well, I have a Facebook account, and I'm on YouTube. You can look up movies I'm in. You can also Google my name, Pete Flattum, on Google, and it will list all my recent movies, and you can click on them and look at them and stuff. So you can follow me on Google, Facebook, or YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. Now we're going with 30 seconds left. I do want to talk to you guys off the air about a couple of things. But wrapping up your interview segment, our fans and listeners can make sure to go to Facebook and YouTube, subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network. Our Instagram names will be on the bottom of the screens, or our fans will be in touch with us. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to like, comment, and share. Any comments will be shared on the following episode. And as I always say to our guests, it was a real honor and privilege having you both be on the show. I appreciate the opportunity. Looking forward to part 2. Until we meet again, catch you later. And everyone, have a good night, and thank you for watching.